Welcome to the RNL Revolution Nothing Less show. Today is August 11th, 2022. My name is Andy Z. I'm the host of the show, coming to you from Los Angeles, California. This is a show about nothing less than a real revolution to overthrow the system we live under. This is a big deal. It's serious. It's something that is possible only in rare historic times, and when such times are present, everyone who deep in their hearts abhors all the brutal oppression and exploitation that torments people all over the world needs to learn everything they can about why this is so and what can be done about it, and then bend every effort to emancipate all of humanity. This is such a rare time that this is so is coiled together with the grave danger should this opportunity not be seized. We live in a moment of profound crisis, deepening divisions, with the looming possibility of civil war, and all this is tightly bound up with the need and the possibility for a liberating revolution that is urgently needed. And with these coils so tightly wound with the potential to spring loose, will people who see the danger and feel that humanity could be capable of far better be ready and know what is happening and why, and what to do to wrench the future onto another road? This relationship between the great danger and great possibility is captured in the title of the seminal work for this historic time by the revolutionary leader Bob Avakian, B.A. Something Terrible or Something Truly Emancipating, a work that is the map to the road of revolution leading to human emancipation. Towards the beginning of this work, B.A. writes, quote, "We live under a system, the system of capitalism imperialism. Capitalism is an economic and political system of exploitation and oppression, and imperialism refers to the worldwide nature of this system. It is this system which is the basic cause of the tremendous suffering that people all over the world are subjected to. And this system poses a growing threat to the very existence of humanity in the way that this system is rapidly destroying the global environment and in the danger of war between the nuclear-armed capitalist imperialist powers such as the US and China and/or Russia. All this is reality, and no one can escape this reality. Either we radically change it in a positive way, or everything will be changed in a very negative way," end quote. Changing things, again quoting, in a positive way means making revolution, a real revolution, to overthrow this system of capitalism, imperialism, and replace it with a radically different and emancipating system. For it is also a basic truth that in today's world, to fundamentally change society, you must seize power, overthrow the existing state power, and establish a new state power, end quote. This, an objective scientific understanding of the root of the problem we face, and why BA starts there, why an objective scientific understanding of reality matters, is a key theme and subject of today's RNL Revolution Nothing Less show. But before I get into why that is so, know that this work, Something Terrible or Something Truly Emancipating, goes on to make a penetrating analysis of the current political reality of the deep divisions, including at the very top of the government, where the fascist Republican Party of Trump no longer believes in or upholds the norms that have held this country, yes, with all of its crimes against humanity, together since the time of the Civil War. The divide in the United States intensifies at a rapid clip. Just this past week, the Biden Justice Department had the FBI launch an unprecedented raid on Trump's Mar-A-Lago estate 18 months after Trump unleashed a vicious mob on the U.S. Capitol. In response to the raid, the fascist hardcore has amped up their rhetoric for a new civil war.
Ben, you say it's the worst you've seen since January 6th, since before the riot. What kind of posts are you finding online?
Just raw violence. That's what we're seeing. People calling for a civil war. People explicitly calling for assassinations.
something terrible or something truly emancipating goes on to develop a profound roadmap for how to seize on this moment, an actual strategic approach to organize and to train the forces who today seem far from thinking about an actual revolution in this country, but who could be in the swirl of the coming storms if there is a force to struggle with, prepare for, and organize them for revolution now. But all of that will be the subject for future shows. A moment ago, I paused to stop on the foundational first points from this work that describes the system and the moment we are living in, stating, all this is reality, and no one can escape this reality. Either we radically change it in a positive way, or everything will be changed in a very negative way, end quote. All this is reality that no one can escape. You can either know it, to go to work on it, or be played on, or become a victim of it. In the Handbook for Revolution, Basics from the Talks and Writings of Bob Avakian, Chapter 4 is titled Understanding the World. The first quotation in this chapter is this, quote, oppressed people who are unable or unwilling to confront reality as it actually is are condemned to remain enslaved and oppressed, end quote. And later in this chapter is this, quote, the truth will not set us free in and of itself, but we will not get free without the truth. We could spend the next 3 shows or maybe the next 3 months discussing the profundity and implications of this. Here I will just say that a key reason that we here on the R&L show and the RevComs overall make such a big deal out of the work that Bob Avakian has done is because the breakthrough he has made in charting the course for revolution leading to the emancipation of humanity lies in this. BA has put the already scientific foundation of the science of communism that was first developed by Karl Marx on a qualitatively more consistent and thoroughly scientific foundation, which means that there is a way to know the world as it actually is, and on that basis, how to change it. We will get into this in different parts of the R&L Revolution Nothing Less show today, a focus of which will be the struggle for the right to abortion, which has just been taken from women by the theocratic fascist Supreme Court, and is a nodal point, a concentration point of the struggle between the two futures. One, life-stealing, fascist, and brutally oppressive, and the other, the liberating future possible through a real revolution. Bob Avakian, over decades, identified that this would be a pivotal question, the position of women in society that could not be resolved within the normal framework of this system. And over the last 9 months, BA has led the RevComs, and particularly Sunsara Taylor, to unite very broadly and with firm principle to organize the organization, rise up for abortion rights, and mobilize masses of people to do all they can to try to stop this by taking to the streets in nonviolent, sustained mass protests. This they did, uniting with people of very diverse political views and involving tens of thousands of people, especially young people, in standing up for this and really for much more, for not accommodating to this attack. And in the case of Sunsara, the RevComs, and of BA for standing for advocating for, and for bringing to the people the revolutionary solution to all of this and to all the dangers that confront the people of the world today. For all of this, not only was Rise Up for Abortion Rights viciously attacked and libeled by some opportunist leftist pro-choice, really no-choice groups for their association with Bob Avakian and the RevComs, but Bob Avakian and the RevComs are being viciously and dangerously subjected to a barrage of baseless lies and distortions that have been picked up and spread by fascist and law enforcement websites. The last several episodes of the R&L show have taken on these attacks, and later in today's show, Sunsara Taylor will be interviewing the longtime feminist and pioneer of women's healthcare, Carol Downer, about these attacks. But the heart of today's program is the centrality of the struggle for the scientific method and approach to understand the world as it actually is, and then to tirelessly struggle with masses of people to take up that method to enable them to play the role that they are urgently needed to play today. This scientific approach informs the morality, the strategy, and the goal that is at the heart of Bob Avakian's leadership. This is, to repeat, a scientific, objective method and approach to know and change the world. This can both open the world and how to change it for you and provide the key for you to become a part of organizing the thousands and ultimately the millions needed for a real revolution. We will begin with a short clip of BA from the film Why We Need an Actual Revolution and How We Could Really Make a Revolution, speaking on a scientific understanding of how the oppression of women is bound up with the system of capitalism imperialism. This will be followed by our main commentary this week by our comrade and frequent contributor to the RNL show, Lenny Wolf, on methods, principles, and standards, drawing from an interview that Bob Avakian did in 2012. And we're also going to present a very moving and deep question that comes when you are struggling to make such a profound change in the world with the goal of nothing less than a revolution to emancipate humanity. Bob Avakian answering a question from a young person who asked him, quote, "You've dedicated your life to revolution. Have you ever become discouraged? And how do you stay motivated?" So with this as an introduction to this, the 114th episode of the RNL Revolution Nothing Less show, I want to welcome my co-host Sansara Taylor back to Los Angeles, California, and the studio of the RNL show. Welcome back.
Andy, it's so good to be with you here.
Okay, so Sansara, you're going to be in today's show, as I said, interviewing Carol Downer, a longtime feminist scholar, activist, and provider of women's health. But then you're also going to be doing something else. I didn't announce that yet.
Yeah, I'll also be talking about the recent major vote in Kansas on an anti-abortion referendum and the implications, what lessons to draw, what lessons not to draw for those of us who care about women's fundamental right to abortion.
Okay, so with that, we're going to get going with the film clip of Bob Avakian on the oppression of women and how it's tied together with the capitalism.